Hello everyone, welcome to the channel update for March. I hope everyone's February went well. For those who saw my post and noticed the lack of videos after Potionomics ended, yeah, I did get sick. I got a cold. I unfortunately spread it to other people, and that was disappointing. I hate doing that. Luckily, it wasn't COVID. It was just a cold. Um, but when I get a cold, I am knocked out for a little bit. Not real well, not really knocked out. I just feel really drained and tired, and my voice sounds terrible to me. I am coughing and blowing my nose all the time, and it did not feel like getting too much recording done. Canceled a few streams for that. And the big thing is that when Potionomics ended and I was just coming down with the cold, um, I didn't want to start a new Let's Play and have the first episode, which is the episode that most people watch. It's of any series, it is the video that is watched the most, um, with tiny exceptions. Um, and I didn't want that to be the episode that people were coming in and hearing me sniffly and scratchy, scratchy voiced and stuff like that. So it was like, start like if I was already 20 episodes into a replacement series, or in the case of Xenoblade Chronicles 200, it was very much a case of whatever, you know. You get what you get. if you're already watching that far into a series, chances are that's not going to bother you. So I decided to put off a new Let's Play until I felt that my voice was at least close enough to normal where most people wouldn't notice it, kind of thing, and I wasn't needing to myself all the time to cough and blow my nose. So, in the meantime, Square put out an update almost a year after the game came out to Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition. So I was like, I had some plans on what I was going to play after Potionomics, but I was like, those can be put on the shelf for now. Let's play Chrono Cross. I have been wanting to replay that for a very long time, and just like waiting for good opportunities. And then, I mean, first I wanted to wait until I played Chrono Trigger. It took me a while to get to. And then, I mean, there's a lot of games that I do want to play. Um, and then it was like they put out this update, and I was like, okay. I mean, I wanted to play it last year, but I didn't look at the requirements, and even if I had, I would have been like, meh, whatever. It said it needed Windows 10, but so does every other game coming out right now. Like they're all saying they need Windows 10. Not a single new game that I had played up until that point since Windows 10 came out, kind of thing, um, that I had any problems with. And that one just did not start at all. Did not work. So they put out that update, and I was like, well, I should check it. It worked. Seems to work just fine. Um, I know that there are some like frame rate issues at various points. I'm noticing that the game seems to be operating at a slightly higher frame rate than the original, or at least internal. Like everything seems slightly sped up um, compared to, or at least battles do. I don't know if they just tried to like get more frame rates out of the game just by having the game have more animation frames in it rather than uh, keeping it at the same thing, but just having it kind of take more frames. I don't know a whole lot about that really. I mean, I know the difference, especially in actual video. I don't know how it works with games, but regardless, um, it's not a big deal. It's just a little like I'm sure I'll get used to it. It was just the initial play. It was just like it seems a little off, but it's fine. Not really a big deal. Um, So I'm excited to be playing that. I am drawing names from the list of Patreon supporters. I have more Patreon supporters than characters in that game, so it is very likely that not everyone is going to get into the game. For which I I'm sorry, but that is why I will be drawing names, and will be kind of a lottery basis. Um, those who are high tier um, supporters, they will definitely get in. That is one of the perks of being a high tier. Um, but for all the rest, I'll still be drawing names for it, but they're just kind of guaranteed to get in. If I'm going if I go a while without one of them coming up, then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna make sure that they get named soon. But I believe there are 45 characters that are in the game, and you get to name them all. So, be having some interesting characters going up. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I've already seen some of the comments, and it sure seems like it. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm glad that you guys are excited for it. I certainly am. I've been wanting to play it for a while. It's one of those games that I do have mixed feelings on. Overall positive. I think the game is fantastic. I think the tie-ins, like some of the tie-ins to Chrono Trigger, are fantastic, whereas some of the others are like, oh no, I don't know. That's just no, it's not right. Um, get to that. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys who are aware of the game know what I'm talking about already. That's for you guys, not a spoiler. But I don't want to spoil for anyone else who may have heard about the game, and are but like even just like as an isolated game, it's excellent. So there's that. Xenoblade Chronicles is still ongoing. We are close to the end. I don't know how much is left. I did notice I did miss a few things, or some like bonds that I didn't get for characters that I can't get now. So I guess it's not going to be a perfect 100% completion game. I never really claimed it would be, but I always said that I was going to try to make it. But the fact that you have to talk to like it's not just that you have to like get NPCs in the game to have their bonds created between themselves and other townspeople and stuff like that. It's not just that you have to like do a side quest, and it's not just that you have to talk to them again afterward, which it's not always clear who you talk to get those bonds created. But then you have to talk to them at a certain time. Like, they may come out of their house at 8 a.m., but if you talk to them at 8:15 a.m., they just give you like generic dialogue. But then if you wait until 9 a.m., then they change and they say something different. Why that? Honestly, like setting aside even my complaints with the combat engine, and that's mostly just like it doesn't fit with how my brain wants things to work. I don't it and a lot of that's just me versus like the gameplay style. It's not exactly what I favor, care for. I'm sure other people absolutely love it. That's fine. So that's like an opinion thing. Um, it doesn't fit my personal opinion on what I prefer to play perfectly. Um, and there, I would change some of those things to make it more like what I would want. But that's just like that's opinion style side of things. But have to talk to people at specific times, not just when they're out and about. That to me is bonkers and flat out wrong in game design. Never do that. Ever do that. That's because then there's no sign. There's like, I mean, if it's at least, yeah, come back and talk to me after noon, and okay, you know, if there's some sign that you doing that, 'cause otherwise there's just no way that it falls into the guy dang it category of you need to have a guide to look all this stuff up. And I had a guide, and I was looking it all up, but it was also like, I'll come back to that later. Thinking that I could, like when the fact said talk to them after noon, I was like, okay, that's just because that's when they're going to be out. They're not going to be out before. Oh no, 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 they're out before noon. You just aren't going to get the right dialogue. Why? Ugh. So that's that rant. Um, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 will definitely not be immediately following Xenoblade Chronicles 1 when I finish that. I'm going to do that as a stream. I think that having gotten through, not entirely through, but close to the end, like it's like the last batch of side quests before finishing the game kind of thing is, I think, where um, I I feel like it would have been better as a stream game. So that's what it'll do. It'll go into a Monday slot at some. Um, when I don't know because speaking of the Monday slot, Breath of the Wild just finished up, but Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out in just a few months. So I have a game that I think will get us that point, if not be longer. In which case I'll move it to a different day until I finish it. But definitely going to be playing Breath of the Wild 2 like the first Monday after it comes out, kind of. Maybe I'll do a special stream on the day it comes out. I don't know. It depends. Depends on exactly what day it is and how close it is to a Monday. Like if it comes out a Tuesday, I'll be like, I should do a special stream. I don't know. But we have finished Breath of the Wild on Monday. So the episodes, I think the first batch, the first portion of that stream's going up today, and then the second part is tomorrow, and that will be fun game. I didn't quite do everything, but I really did enjoy just going around and doing a bunch of stuff. There are some things that I would have liked a little bit better. The side quests were kind of oftentimes a little bit uninteresting in that. It's not quite Xenoblade Chronicles. I think about half of the side quests in Xenoblade Chronicles. At least half. I liked all of the character stuff. Like I really did end up liking the Emmy Leader side quest. I think that was really fun, and that was a good way of doing a side quest that feels impactful and stuff like that. But some of the others is just like, go collect these things. No. So anyway, so yeah, I finished up Breath of the Wild on Monday, and those videos will be coming out soon. I will be playing something else starting next Monday. I have to tune in and see what that is because that's yeah, we're holding off on that. I did, of course, finish up Parasite Eve as well, not too long ago. I guess actually that was January. Did that up, wasn't it? End of January, I think it was. Yeah, so it's been about a month since that finished up, and we've been playing Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster ever since, which is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying playing through that quite a bit. And that is on Fridays. Wednesday retro. We did finish up Shadowrun last week, and I am recording this right after playing the request from Lord Smappy for Barbie for the NES. So that was also fun. That will be going up in a few days. I think Friday is scheduled once uploaded. And Paradigm Haru wrapped up a little while ago with Zerfall last year, really. We have started planning out our next game. I think we'll be starting recording of that if everything goes well tomorrow, Thursday. Not sure how long, when the videos will actually start coming out. we may want to like get a batch in the can first, so that we're definitely sure that everything's going to be, that we're options kind of thing. And it depends on how, whether we encounter problems recording and stuff like that. We haven't had a chance to do that, but I think if everything goes well, we'll be getting started on that tomorrow. So sometime this month, we'll probably start seeing those. Those will be on his channel. I will be including a playlist here on my channel, of course, like I do with all those co-ops. But do stay tuned for that. That should be interesting. And of course, the LEGO building streams are still ongoing, of course. I'll be doing some building tonight. I have not decided exactly what I'm going to be building. I'm aiming for something that I do not have to carry over to following the next Wednesday. And I do have quite a bit for that, but I also have quite a bit for that, so it's like selection paralysis type thing. So we'll see. But if you're enjoying those, tune in tonight for some more LEGO building. We'll be doing something on Friday. We finished up the Friends Downtown Design and Flower Shop. Flower Shop and Design. Flower and Design. I don't, whatever. I think it's Downtown Design. Yeah. That wrapped up last Friday, and so this Friday we'll be starting something new. We are, and that'll be another like a multi week thing, but I haven't decided what I will be at yet. I have a few possibilities for that as well. So tune in for those. And of course, Spelljammer on Saturday is still ongoing. Just kind of wrapping up the current leg of the trip back to Brawl. Party will be finishing up some stuff in on their current Crystal Sphere, and maybe getting off into the Phlogiston this coming weekend. We'll see. It depends on how much stuff they end up doing. So that's really what's been going on the channel so far. Whoops! No, don't do that, game. No, no, no. That was a misclick. Misclick, YouTube. Understand what I'm trying to do when I click things. Please read my mind. But if you are enjoying the content and you want to directly support the channel, that both ensures that I can purchase new games, new hardware when I need it, have a roof over my head and food in my belly, of course, pay for healthcare. Getting sick always makes me think of that. Also helps me purchase Lego for the build streams. We do currently have the goal of the Lego Eiffel Tower that came out 2 months ago, and we're very close to that. So when we hit that goal, we'll be building that very, very soon. I'm currently thinking that the Lego Rivendell is going to be the next goal that I put up. That is an exciting. That looks like a fantastic build, and very exciting to see that. I'm really hyped for that set. It's coming out in just a handful of days. But yeah, so that's on the horizon. That'll probably be the next goal once the Eiffel Tower is completed, and we're really close. We're over 90% to that. So if you're excited for that, to see me build that, do join the streams and toss some bits my way on Twitch. Links of course are in the video description down here, and should be on all of the stream videos as well. So yeah, do check that out. And if you want to support the channel directly for all those things that I did mention, there's Patreon. I have a link up here to my Patreon, and I'll hop over there in a moment. There's channel memberships. Nice showcase of the current channel memberships right here, or a selection of them. Want to thank all of you for all of your support. It really does mean a lot, both Patreon, here on YouTube, for those supporting me with Twitch subscriptions as well. All of those, long way to ensure I can continue bringing you video content. I can survive with a roof over my head, have an internet access to upload said videos, be able to purchase new games or old games or hardware when I need it, that sort of thing. I did have to spend quite a bit last year to get Switch streaming recording set up. So all of that does go, right back into the channel. Like, that's mostly what I'm spending money on these days is stuff to sustain me and stuff for the channel. So if you're really enjoying all the content and have the ability to do so, please do consider supporting the channel. Hop on over here to Patreon membership level. You can also just do a direct one-time donation on Ko-fi if you want. Of course, are in the description. All of those go a long way. Twitch bits, of course, also support the channel quite well, and getting upcoming Lego builds and stuff like that. So please support the channel if you can. And if you can't, that is perfectly okay. All the content is going to always be free. What I would ask is for watching videos fully, leaving a like on the videos, and that's for the every video. Every video a like helps, and anytime you can have anytime you have something to say, anytime you can, leave a comment. It really does help the the YouTube algorithm share the videos out to other people and bring in. That is something that I do need. The channel subscriptions are not they're still going up, but they're not going up as quickly as I would like. And it's like putting goals of like 30,000, 50,000, the highly unlikely 100,000 subscriptions even farther away. So every like that you leave helps with that. Every comment you leave that, and even watching videos fully helps with that. Because YouTube looks at all of those things and says, if people are watching fully, people are leaving a comment, people are leaving a like, that means that this video is good, something that should be shared out. And considering how much YouTube's algorithm is currently de-emphasizes content like mine, all of that is even more necessary at this point in time. I mean, there's a reason why so many people have just shifted over to streaming full time, kind of thing, and like just using the as an archive. And that's I think while I could shift around some of my stream times, I think I'm doing about as much streaming as I can. Um, the and I definitely feel that YouTube and Twitch streaming are different types of content. Like it different things, work better in those two platforms. Twitch is like gameplay over there is a lot more casual. So something like Final Fantasy II, which I've already been through the game, I already like mostly know where stuff is. I have a good idea on what things are, and the grinding doesn't take too long and is kind of fun to watch anyway. That kind of thing works well on Twitch, and so do long games, long windy games that there's a lot of exploration and stuff like that, where you're getting the live interaction, and that's part of what is enjoyable. So I don't have to keep up a constant stream of commentary what is just like moving from place to place. And that's like having played through so much of Xenoblade Chronicles. It's really been a case of this would have been better as a stream game. There's so much more, like so much of could have had to do, could have had more interaction. Whereas I feel like Chrono Cross works better as a Let's Play because I'm so much more concerned about getting to the places, and there's so much more in-game dialogue that I need to read. A game that is dialogue heavy, that I have to read a lot of, I actually prefer to do that as a Let's Play rather than a stream. That's one reason why I try to keep my stream games dialogue light. A lot of RPGs are out as a retro game choices. So that's just kind of giving you guys how I feel the different content works on the different platforms. I like both types of things. That's why I do both. And I don't see myself going fully streaming anytime ever. You know, certainly not soon. Probably not ever. I mean, you can never say for sure that you won't do one thing or another. I mean, YouTube could come along and do massive changes to the platform that even less friendly content. In which case, streaming would become even more attractive. See myself shifting even stuff like Chrono Cross over there, but I would prefer not to. And if I did something like that, it would be because of changes that YouTube. I'm certainly hoping that they don't make any changes like that. I don't want. I like doing both. So, yeah. So that's basically where we are with the channel right now. I'm excited to play Chrono Cross. I'm sure you guys are excited to see it. I'm hoping the Xenoblade Chronicles ends pretty soon, and we can go into something else as well. Not because it's one of those things where the game is kind of overstayed its welcome in that there's so much to do and stuff like that. Like so much of it feels like you really have to do side quests to get the XP and everything like that. Take on the bosses and things like that. But it really does feel like I think I would have enjoyed the game more if I was just playing the story. As much as I have liked a lot of the side content, and I do like exploring the game world, um, I think the game should have just focused on the story because it's a good story. Um, it's not quite Tales of Vesperia where you forget what the story is. And even that wasn't because of side quests. A lot of that was just because of the story was so meandering. The story really isn't meandering in Xenoblade Chronicles. It's just that there's so much side content that the game encourages. The game design encourages you that it can kind of, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna make more criticisms about Xenoblade Chronicles than I am about the Barbie NES game that I just played, because the Barbie NES game isn't good. Like, it's just not good. Uh, which doesn't mean that it wasn't fun to play today. But a lot of the reason that it was fun to play today was because I had stream interactions going on, So it's one of those things. It's like same thing when I had a request to play King's Quest VII, and I knew I wasn't going to enjoy the game for the game itself on the game's merits, um, but knowing that I had fun by kind of taking the piss out of it, so to speak. Like making fun of the game made playing the game fun, kind of thing. So, uh, it was one of those things, like you can always, can't always, but you can oftentimes find ways to have fun with things that aren't in and of themselves good or fun, so long as they're not frustrating. And there was some frustration in the Barbie game, but it didn't take so long that, like it wasn't so much that it you know made me want to just drop my controller and walk away, kind of thing. Um, so I'm gonna have way more complaints about Xenoblade Chronicles because it is still a good game. um, and it's like, you're pulling at the threads, as opposed to pointing out that the whole thing cloth is ruined. Anyway, that's basically what's going on with the channel. For those who have been following my updates for a while, you know that once a month I put out a deity. This month is a little bit different because I actually put out a deity that I created pretty much entirely myself. Um, I've done something close, I've done things close to this where I had a name and like a god of some particular thing, and that was it. That was it, like nothing else. Like some of the centaur deities was like a name and a title, which kind of gave you an idea of what they stood for. And I went from there and created a whole deity. Um, this time, I actually created a deity that has no canon whatsoever, but I felt should have existed. Um, there's a species in Spelljammer, second edition Spelljammer, not fifth edition Spelljammer, called the Gravs. They are short, stocky miners who have some control over gravity. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would say, well, why need them when you have dwarves? Well, because variety is fun. Um, but they have mages, and they have a very hierarchical caste, like feudal society kind of thing. And there was no mention of a faith, no mention of a religion, no mention of a deity whatsoever. But when it comes to D&D, I'm very much of the that given the nature of the multiverse and the races, uh, it should be a special exception when things don't have their own. Like there should be some reason why some race doesn't have either a pantheon or a deity that they follow, preferably a native one, as opposed to like there's a similar thing with the Loxoth in Forgotten Realms, who are Spelljammer immigrants in second edition. I think in third edition and beyond, they just say they came by magical means, which is true, but also doesn't convey what the original. Um, I think in third edition they just worship the giant deities. But why would they? It's like they're not giants. Yes, they're big, but they're not giants. Like giant conveys something very specific in D&D. Um, think of it like a capital G giant as opposed to a lowercase. Um, and I think they should have their own pantheon as well. Maybe on arriving in the Forgotten Realms, they found that they couldn't act. They couldn't. Their deity didn't have access there, so they adopted others. That is a reasonable description. But they came from some place, and they should have had their own deities. One of the races that there isn't really any explicit comment about it, but I do, reading between the lines, feels like they have no deities, they have no faith, because originally they couldn't be clerics, priests of any kind, are GIF. And I haven't really explored the nature of that yet in my own mind, but uh, generally when I see an absence of a deity information for a race, I want there to be that, and I feel like there should be. So that's kind of what spawned Kavor the Gravity, is I wanted there to be a deity for this race. It's a very interesting race, I think. And because the most recent leg of the Spelljammer campaign has centered very heavily on these race, I did a lot of mental work on them recently. So I wrote up what I think their patron deity would be, and it is one of those cases where I think a single patron deity works best for as opposed to a whole pantheon. Other cases I would prefer a pantheon, but there's very specific ways that like they're very hierarchical, very caste based, kind of like, um, and I think that feeds into having one deity that has one message, kind of. So that's kind of the how I went with that. So I came up with Kavor. Some of you may recognize the word as a word for anti-gravity materials in, I think, if I remember correctly, wrote the Time Machine. Guy who wrote the Time Machine. I'm blanking on his name right now. But he had a sci-fi book that included anti-gravity material called Cavorite. And I decided that worked as a good name. There's another one, Apergy, for anti-gravity that also came up, and that was my original name. But then I found Kavor, and I was like, oh, that works even better. So I made Apergy alias. Um, Other races can worship him too as a kind of a minor gravity if they want. But so that's kind of how that all came about. I didn't really make much mention of that, but it is one of those things for people who like that book. Might hey, nice reference there, kind of thing. Um, so yeah, if you want to explore this deity, head on over to my blog. I will of course include the link in below to the blog entry. You can read over Kavor. Check out the grabs for Spelljammer if you're playing a Spelljammer campaign or considering it. They're an interesting and fun race. I even included a write-up for using them as a PC or NPC as well. I consider that all a draft. I may want to work on that a little bit. They have it's not like their control over gravity is very slow, so it's not exactly the best combat thing, but it does, in a lot of ways, make carrying loot out of dungeons very easy. And I'm a little like I'm kind of thinking that I need to give them some penalty kind of thing. Haven't decided yet. So do check it out. Head on over to my blog and leave a comment if you have any comments about the deity or about the race write-up as well. But do check that out. Anyway, I want to thank all of you guys for supporting the channel. It really does mean a lot, both in terms of the direct financial access support. Patron names are scrolling by below. As usual, do look forward to some of them showing up in some of our as some characters in Chrono Cross. And I really do want to thank you all, whether you're supporting financially or just, watching the videos, enjoying them, leaving the likes and comments. It really does all mean a lot to me. Thank you guys very, very much. And I hope March is very good for you. And February went well and everything like that. So thank you guys for all the support, and I will see you in the next video. See you then, everyone.